Elon Musk just pulled the curtain back on what might be the most disruptive move in the history of Silicon Valley. It's called Grok 5, and it's a monster. We are looking at a massive 1.5 trillion parameter model that has already finished training, and it's designed to do one thing: win the AI coding race by any means necessary. But it's not just the size that should have OpenAI and Google worried. The real nuclear factor here is how xAI trained it. Reportedly, they've fed Grok 5 massive amounts of proprietary cursor programming data. This means Grok isn't just reading textbooks, it's learning from the digital muscle memory of the world's best developers: how they actually build, how they fail, how they debug, and how they fix broken software in the heat of the moment. And Musk isn't alone in this June blitz. While he's scaling up, DeepSeek just dropped a 46-page research paper that was 99% written by an AI agent, and Alibaba's Qwen 3.7 Max just came out of nowhere to break into the global top tier, effectively bruising the reputations of GPT 5.5 and Gemini 3.5 Flash. But we have to start with the Musk situation, because the sheer scale of it is staggering. Late at night on May 24th, Elon confirmed that Grok V9, the 1.5 trillion parameter beast, is officially cooked. To put that in perspective, that is exactly 3 times the size of the current model. He's promising a public release in just 2 to 3 weeks, right before a major historical milestone we'll talk about in a minute. But here is where the story gets really interesting. Almost simultaneously with the training completion, news leaked that xAI had secured a massive pipeline of cursor programming data. If you aren't a developer, you need to understand why this is a cheat code. Cursor is the insanely popular AI coding tool that over 67% of Fortune 500 companies are already using. It's a juggernaut expected to hit $6 billion in revenue by 2026, and even NVIDIA's Jensen Huang has publicly called it his favorite enterprise-level AI service. By feeding Cursor's data into Grok, xAI is essentially giving the model the ultimate answer sheet. But the exam isn't about simple syntax or writing a basic Python script. The exam is: how do the world's most elite professional engineers actually build software? We're talking about millions of real-world interactions. Current AI models are already great at spitting out code that looks right, but they often fall apart when they hit the real world. The real challenge, the final boss of AI coding, is understanding complex engineering logic, navigating massive multi-file codebases, and managing the messy, chaotic reality of human-AI collaboration. The specific prompts developers use, the way they pivot when a bug appears, their multi-file collaboration patterns, and their actual debugging sessions. This isn't just training data, it's a roadmap to building an AI that doesn't just write code, but actually thinks like a senior software engineer at a trillion-dollar company. What's even more wild is that we don't have to guess what's inside this new training set. Someone actually went straight to the source and asked Grok directly what the cursor data contains. The answer was a goldmine. Grok admitted that it's being fed high-quality, real-world programming interactions, everything from the specific prompts developers use to the complex code context, the precise editing operations, and the final task completion records. Think about that. They aren't just teaching Grok to code, they are teaching it to work like a senior developer by showing it exactly how the best in the business navigate a project from start to finish. And while the cutting-edge V9 stays behind a paywall, xAI is playing a brilliant double game. They've announced that the current V8 small model, with its 500 billion parameters, will be open-sourced by the end of the year. It's a classic Musk move. Keep the crown jewels proprietary while building massive goodwill and a developer army in the open-source community.
But if you look closer, you realize this isn't just about making a smarter chatbot. This is a massive financial play. On April 21st, SpaceX made a staggering $60 billion move to lock down Cursor. This is one of the most important AI coding tools on the planet, and Musk just put a ring on it. They've secured an option to acquire Cursor entirely, and the terms are aggressive. If they don't exercise that option by the end of the year, they still have to pay a $10 billion cooperation fee. That $10 billion penalty alone tells you how much Musk values this territory. It's a three-step masterstroke. Step 1. Lock down the best tool with raw capital. Step 2. Harvest that data to supercharge your own model. Step 3. Launch your own killer app, which they did on May 14th with Grok Build. Grok Build is a terminal-level AI programming agent that lives where real developers live, the command line. It handles code generation, file editing, and dependency management, but the real flex is its ability to run 8 sub-agents in parallel. They are charging $300 a month for the Super Grok Heavy subscription, though they're dangling a $99 hook for the first 6 months. Interestingly, it's natively compatible with the same file formats used by Claude Code. That's xAI admitting they need to play nice with their competitors' ecosystems just to get a foot in the door. And let's be real, they need that foot in the door because right now, Grok is trailing the pack. If we look at the SWE Bench Verified benchmark, the Olympics of AI coding capability, the gap is clear. OpenAI's GPT 5.5 is leading the world at 88.7%. Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.6 is right behind at 80.8%. Meanwhile, the Grok 4 series is sitting back at 72% to 75%.
The enterprise numbers are even more brutal. As of March 2026, OpenAI owns 55% of the market. Anthropic has seen a meteoric rise from 20% to 47% in just 1 year. Google is holding steady at 39%. And Grok? Grok is sitting at a measly 6%. Tripling the parameters to 1.5 trillion and injecting Cursor's DNA might cause a qualitative leap, but Musk has a mountain to climb. However, the timing here isn't accidental, it's surgical. SpaceX is listing on the Nasdaq on June 12th in what could be the largest IPO in history, with a target valuation of $1.75 trillion. The $60 billion Cursor acquisition is timed to wrap up right after that IPO, and the release of Grok V9 is scheduled to hit just days before the opening bell. Musk is timing everything to create a perfect storm of hype and hardware. But as we're about to see, he isn't the only one who cleared his calendar for June. While Musk is making his $60 billion play, the rest of the industry is preparing for what can only be described as a brutal month of June. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a head-on confrontation. First, OpenAI's GPT 5.6 has already been spotted in the wild. Leaks from the Codex backend show a massive 1.5 million token context window that's already passed testing. But why does a 1.5 million token window actually matter for the industry? Think of it this way. Most AI models today have a short-term memory like a notepad. OpenAI is turning that notepad into a library. With 1.5 million tokens, a developer doesn't just feed the AI a single file, they can feed it the entire legacy codebase of a Fortune 500 company in one go. This is the matrix moment for coding. Instead of the AI guessing based on snippets, it sees the whole architecture. It understands the technical debt from 10 years ago and how it affects the feature you're writing today. For Musk and Grok Build, this is a massive problem. If Grok is still limited to smaller windows, while GPT 5.6 is reading the whole book, the $60 billion spent on Cursor starts to look like a defensive move rather than an offensive one. And then there's the inference war. While OpenAI is scaling memory, Musk is scaling hardware. By integrating xAI directly with SpaceX's upcoming IPO capital, Musk is trying to solve the one thing that kills AI startups: the retail cost of computers. Think of it like this. Most AI companies are renting apartments from Microsoft or Google. They pay a premium every month just to stay open. Musk is building a skyscraper he owns outright. By owning the hardware, the satellites, and now the Cursor brain, he can eventually offer Grok at a price point that makes it impossible for smaller players to compete. He's not just trying to build the smartest AI. He's trying to build the AI that is the most expensive to kill. Polymarket, the world's biggest prediction market, now puts the probability of a June release at over 85%. But OpenAI isn't alone. Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.8 has just appeared in the Google Vertex backend, and Google's own Gemini 3.5 Pro is locked in for a June debut.
We have four of the world's most powerful AI labs all dropping their flagship models in the same 30-day window.
If you thought the AI race was fast before, June is going to be an absolute bloodbath for market share. However, there's a fascinating legal drama brewing behind the scenes of the XAI Cursor deal. Bloomberg recently reported that XAI's general counsel sent out a strict gag order to employees, telling them to limit all interactions with Cursor staff to the absolute bare minimum. This is the quiet period of a $60 billion acquisition. Under antitrust rules, you can't start acting like one company until the regulators sign off. It's a high stakes, careful dance. Even though Cursor is already using XAI's massive Colossus infrastructure to break through their compute bottlenecks, they legally have to keep the walls up. They are technically partners, but legally strangers, at least until the ink dries. Now, we have to talk about something that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. This is the Deli Chen paper, and it is where things get meta in the best way possible. Deli Chen isn't just some random researcher. He's a heavy hitter at DeepSeek, the architect behind DeepSeek V1 through V4 and the R1 model that literally made the cover of Nature. He just published a 46-page survey titled From Co-Pilots to Colleagues. But here's the kicker. Deli Chen openly admits that 99% of this 46-page paper was written by an AI. He used an autonomous research framework called Deli Auto Research Skill, and the stats are mind-blowing. The first draft? Finished in 76 minutes. The entire 46-page document? Done in 6 days across 108 rounds of agent interaction. It consumed 648,000 tokens and produced over 2,200 lines of complex LaTeX code. Deli Chen says his total human brain time spent on this was less than 2 hours. His warning? We are about to see crazy inflation in scientific papers. Work that used to take a month of human labor is now being compressed into a few days. The co-authors listed on the paper are literally DeepSeek V4 Pro for the text and GPT Image 2 for the visuals. It is a human-supervised AI writing a review about how AI is taking over scientific research. The irony is staggering, but the data is terrifyingly efficient. Inside this AI-written paper is a roadmap for the future. The 5 levels of research autonomy, modeled after self-driving cars.
Level 1, autocomplete. This is your standard GitHub Copilot. You drive, it suggests. It's a 55% productivity boost, but zero autonomy. Level 2, task execution. Think ChatGPT or Claude. You give a specific task, the AI executes it while you watch. Level 3, multi-step operations. This is where the industry is moving right now, with tools like Cursor and Claude Code. The agent sets a goal and only stops for checkpoints. Level 4, full autonomy in bounded domains. This is the world of Devon, or the SWE agent. You provide the goal, and the AI delivers the finished product. Level 5, self-directed research. This is the holy grail. The human just sets the general area, and the AI chooses its own problems to solve. We aren't there yet, but based on Deli Chen's 76-minute first draft, we're closer than anyone realizes. The paper identifies 3 ways these digital researchers are being built. Single agent loops that reflect on their own work, multi-agent collaboration where different AIs peer review each other, and hierarchical orchestration, where a boss AI manages a team of worker AIs.
As amazing as this sounds, the DeepSeek paper is brutally honest about the walls we haven't climbed yet.
There are 6 fundamental traps holding AI back. The first is the cognitive loop trap. You've seen this. It's when an agent, like AutoGPT, gets stuck repeating the same failed strategy over and over like a broken record. Then there's the context collapse, where early information in a long research session just evaporates after 100,000 tokens. We also have the novelty problem. How do you teach an AI to know if an idea is actually new or just obscure? Add in the issues of reproducibility, the ethics of dual-use risks, and the sheer economic barrier where solving a single complex engineering task can cost up to $50 in API calls, and you see why Level 5 remains aspirational. Current frontier systems are firmly at Level 4, autonomous, but only within a walled garden. But while the West is hitting these walls, something shocking just happened on the global leaderboards. Enter Quinn 3.7 Max. The latest Code Arena results are in, and Alibaba's newest model just scored 1,541 points, landing in 4th place globally. It didn't just compete, it officially leapfrogged over GPT 5.5 and Gemini 3.5 Flash. This is a historic moment, the first time a Chinese model has ever cracked the global top 5 for programming. And the benchmarks aren't just numbers, they're practical. In one head to head test, developers asked the top models to write a self training Tetris AI. Quinn 3.7 Max didn't just win, it did it with a token cost of only $1.32, while boosting performance by 56%.
So, as we head into the brutal June of 2026, the board is set. Musk has the data and the $60 billion SpaceX IPO backing him. OpenAI and Google have the legacy. But Alibaba and DeepSeek have the efficiency and the meta agents that are already writing their own research. The AI race isn't just about who is the smartest anymore. It's about who can stay sober the longest during a 35-hour coding marathon. What do you think? Is Musk's 1.5 trillion parameter beast enough to take back the lead from the quiet assassins in the East? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more AI updates, hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.